This is my GoPro. That is my GoPro's power button. If you set up your GoPro, it doesn't matter how good your tripod action is. If you don't press the power button and record button, you won't get any video. And so my workbench is complete for the most part, but I don't have a whole ton of video, even though I did reposition the tripod as often as I could. So I'm going to kind of give you a walkthrough with the few video clips I have, and then I'll show you what it looked like in the end. I mean, it's not all that impressive, but I talked about it so much, I figure like I should at least explain and show what I do have. So here's the deal. I started planning how I was going to make the simplest workbench ever. And in the end, I ended up getting two 10-foot long 2x8s and 2x8s, and then one 10-foot 2x4, which ended up being far too much 2x4. I didn't need nearly that much. And basically I cut each 10-foot 2x8 in half because the section that I wanted my workbench is 5 foot exactly. And so I had 4 5-foot long sections, and then on the table saw I ripped the edges of them so that they were nice and square and would butt up together, because 2x8s kind of have like a little rounded edge on every corner, and I didn't want the table to be like bump bump bump. So I wanted to, I don't have a joiner, so I just use a table saw to rip the edges. Actually just pine boards, but that'll work for at least my initial workspace. Now I actually have a chop saw at the house, so welcome to my farm where I actually have a table saw. Once I had the boards ripped so that they were nice and square, I had to do the rest of the work in my office. And I do have a chop saw, but my office is not exactly a workshop, so it wasn't ideal. I had a couple cameras going. One of them actually did work for part of the time. So here's just a couple clips from running a saw in my carpeted office, just to kind of see how the process went. All right, so hopefully this camera's working, but basically, this has to support half of the workbench, and this is a sewer pipe inside, and you'd think that it would be surrounded by studs, but you would be wrong. So I have some solid wood here that I screwed the brace into, and then I found a stud right here, so I'm using an angle bracket to make sure that the back side of this is solid, because this has to support the weight of the whole workbench, and I don't want to put a leg underneath, but I will if I have to, so we'll just see. But yeah, I'm gonna put some screws in here to try to sturdy it up a bit. Alright, actually feels pretty good. So, make sure I didn't mess it up too bad here. Nope, that's good. All right, next one to the other side. Let's see if we can point you there. Yeah. Over there is where the other corner has to go, but I have to cut the board first. All right. So what I'm doing basically here is this has to go on this wall as the other support, but I want to make sure that it's level with the other side, even though it almost certainly won't be level with the actual house, because our house is horribly unlevel. Oh. Also, this board is pretty crappy. Oh. So I have it built, it's mounted against the wall, and it seems to be pretty sturdy. The only problem is I just use like 2x8s, and so when I lined these up, they're not even. I don't know if you can't really see in the video well, but they're kind of like warped this way. So there's like a ledge here and a ledge here and a ledge up here. So what I'm going to do is take this board, and underneath I'm going to screw down just to kind of like pull them flush into each other. It's a pretty big board. It's, it's the full 3.5 inches, so I have a pretty wide margin for error. That said, I don't necessarily want to error horribly, so you know what? I am going to go further this way because I don't want to torque it down, so I want to get it in place here. Kind of hold it. I think that's about it. It's not perfect, but it's usable, and I might sand it. I don't know. I might sand it. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I'll at least sand it. So thanks to the wonders of me forgetting to press record as I move the camera around, I don't have the entire build process, but this is it. I mean, it's just a really simple workbench. This is a sewer pipe that goes all the way up the side of our house. So inside there is a cast iron pipe, and I thought that there would be like some solid wood braces like around it, but there wasn't a whole lot. If I screwed into the wall back there, I got some meat and here there's a little bit of wood, but not as much as I'd hoped. So what I did underneath is I did put an angle brace there just to grab a stud that was like an inch away from where it needed to go, and then I just did a bunch of screws into there. The thing is, this board, which is held on by that like 8 to 10 inches of sort of wall, supports the entire bench because I didn't want to have to put a foot. So it seems to be pretty sturdy based on just that. But we'll see how it goes after a while. I might have to put a leg that just goes down to the ground to support the front. On the other side, it's just a board right along the wall. I made sure it was level both, front to back, and then level with the one that we just looked at. Screwed it to the wall and then just screwed the boards on top of it. And of course, this is the board that we just screwed down just to make the top a little smooth, because this was bumped up really bad. Like a couple of these middle boards were warped, and so they kind of like rose up, and it made a non-level workspace. So anyway, that's it. That's my simple workbench. I ended up doing it about 40 inches. 40 inches? Yeah, right about 40 inches high, so that I can stand and work without hunching over, but also if I get a tall stool, I could probably set it here and be able to work as well. Anyway, that's all there is to it. I mean, it's a pretty simplistic workbench, probably not video worthy, but I didn't have one before. And now there's a place where I can do like soldering and hot glue and assembling things without worrying about destroying my actual office with all the, Wacom tablet and stuff sitting out. So anyway, I still need to get those drawers so that I can keep screws and stuff organized instead of just in the piles of boxes in the closet that they are right now. But I think it's a great first step, and hopefully we'll see some video of projects that I do over there in the near future. Till next time, learn everything, do what you love, and most importantly, be kind. See you at the next video.